have a look. United. Yeti stereo. Okay, is that better? Can you hear me now? Give it a second. Let's just catch up. Give me a sec. You might be able to hear me now. Sorry, it's because I'd unplugged my microphone, and OBS doesn't like it when you unplug your microphone. Oh, we on? Can you hear me? Good stuff. Well, Terry can hear me, Rich. Now you have sound. Good stuff. I figured that'd be the way. So I was just saying, it is now. It's raining out there. You can hear now. Sounds on. Good stuff. Evening, everybody. Hit that like button, even if the sound isn't on. Good stuff. You'll have to turn it up, John. I'll see if I move my mic. I think it's because my mic is a bit further back than before. Evening walkabout games. So how are we all tonight? Who's out there and what you're painting? What you're up to? Hit that like button. That's what I was saying. I was also saying it's pissing it down as well. Evening, Steve. There's quite a bunch of you in at the moment. That's good. Good to see. Tonight I'm just got a few things on the old table. I just thought I'm heading up to Otterburn again tomorrow. Hopefully this rain's going to lift, but looking at the weather, it doesn't look like it's going to. Loud and clear. Good stuff. Andy, good to hear it. So I just thought I'd do another painting chat tonight to see how we get on. Get some of this stuff done. I've got another brigade for Blucher here, which I'm going to get these finished off tonight, I think. Then I've also got these Marmon Harringtons as well, these armoured cars, British armoured cars. What else we got? Robin saying 1940 20mm Germans, hopefully in time for CrackCon. Good stuff. I did a review today of the 1940 Blitzkrieg book. So I made a review video of that and uploaded it to the channel, but it's just sitting there at the moment, ready for release at some point in the future. Watson Terry painting 1300 Gloucester Gladiators for Bag the Hunt. Excellent. Siege of Malta or Battle of Britain, Terry. So anyway, I've got these to a point where they've been ink washed with an Uln oil, so I'm going to give those a dry brush, add a bit of stowage, and do bits and pieces. How are you this fine day, Alex? How was Lord Workshop? Which games did you participate at the convention? Tony, it was great, thank you. Good to have you on board. I was running games. I ran 2 games of Algernon Pulls It Off, the First World War one. If you have a look at my video report of the day, you can see a few seconds of the game that we're playing. It was excellent. Both times they really enjoyed themselves. Malta, excellent. So hope, faith and charity then, is it? Lazy Pirate says you're painting the Kings of War Goblin Slasher tonight. Basically a giant dinosaur with gobos on top. Good stuff. Evening, Charles. Good to have you on board. Tonight's a bit more static grass and 28mm mounted men-at-arms. Always good to get your bases done. Filming some videos tonight. Filming some what videos, James? That sounds interesting, exciting. Right, so first things first. So yeah, it was a busy wargaming weekend actually this weekend. I did the Lard Workshop, and then James and I were involved in a big club game that we played down at a game of O Group down at the club, which was great fun. 30 corps trying to get their way up to Arnhem. What else? Carl says you're making a start on Buccaneers for Blood and Plunder. Okay. Alright. I did a Blood and Valour review as well. I've got a review for that. But I think I might end up with a lot of hate mail off the back of this one. But I've tried to be fair. Just painted minis, videos, some 28mm World War II Blood and Plunder. Cool stuff. Evening, Dex. Good to have you on board. Speaking of which, Dex, I downloaded from the Two Fat Lardies Chain of Command Facebook files group. I know about these in the past. The World War II, World War One. You're working out if there's all the minis you need for the 5th East Yorks, 50th Tynes for O Group. Excellent. I downloaded these decks, some platoon sheets for chain of command. I might try and in the next week or so. I might try and knock a couple up for R29. Let's go. Evening CC, good to have you on board. You were going to start filming some ACW Wargame videos for the channel this evening, so I noticed my sister stole your camera tripod. Oh dear, need to get that back. What else? Surprised to see you using paint dropper bottles. That's still going, Andy. It is going. I don't know what's happened with that. It's currently on about 800 to 900 likes at this point. I'm surprised I haven't been shot either or banned off Twitter. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go and check my Twitter out from this morning. CC says you're basing some World War II Japanese. Good stuff. You hope you haven't shredded your copy. No, I haven't, of course, James. I'll bring it back for you next time at the club. Not this week. Next week. No, I haven't shredded it. Maybe I have in the review. At least historically. Painting some barrels, quick and easy little project. Good stuff. Barrels are always good. Nice scatter. Nice scatter terrain. So yeah, I'm just doing the old at the moment. So I'm just doing the bases for these Blucher figures. So I just want to get these done and knocked up and finished off. And then they'll be. I think I'll probably not get them finished until Friday when I'm back from Otterburn, because they're going to need varnishing first before I do anything else. Static grass, but it's a 10-minute job once they're at that point, and then I can at least I've got something to say in the hobby updates, because it's been quite busy otherwise. So I've been out of town. One good thing is today we're working on setting up the project next week that I've been working on for the last few months at the Prisoner of War camp in Sheffield at Lodgemore. There is I got in touch with Look North, and they said they're going to come over and do some filming next week at some point, so that'll be fun. Excellent. I was going to scratch build a couple of platoon boards using foam core, but my scalpel skills were a bit lacking. Thinking about going to the pub. Good for you. Yeah, I'm fairly certain they'll be easy enough to knock up anyway, Dex. I'm sure somebody's probably done like a basic one anyway that we can mess about with. I'll have a look, like I said, probably over the weekend. Speaking of the weekends, anyone going to ChillCon in Sheffield? I'll be there. I'm going to do a little bit of filming, and it's always a nice little show, this ChillCon. Unfortunately got hammered by COVID and they had to keep putting it back, but finally they managed to get it up and running again, which is good. Just paint the label area for these, and then like I said, these can then get sprayed, and I'll not do that now though, I'll do that when I've finished, and then they will be varnished and ready to crack on. There we go, dead easy. I need to do some more of those. I need to get some more of those printed actually. Good for you. Oh, you're going to ChillCon, not the pub. Okay, I'll probably see you there then. Simon, good to see you again. Ran some 50mm Italian Wars collection with some militia pikemen using the plastic broom bristle pikes approach to them. Yeah, it's working well. Good. I am glad to hear it. Only 10 likes, 19 viewers. Hit that like button, folks. If you like it, hit that dislike button if you dislike it. Either or, don't care. Hit something. And you are finishing up some elves and dwarves with some quick shade. Good stuff. Elves and dwarves always like a bit of quick shade, don't they? Right, let me get on with these Marmon Harringtons. Bound for Singapore. These are the ones that Richard Hogg sent me the other week. So if he's watching, thank you very much, Richard. I was also messing about with memberships as well on the channel. I've just been talking to Martin from Seventh Son about it. You're not going up north for you to Loughborough for a King of War tournament on Saturday. We are looking forward to, not the drive. Fair enough. You've got to take the missus to the zoo. Oh dear. So I've done some. I was trying to work out what's the best thing to do with the memberships on the channel, because if you want to help support the channel, you can join it. You can join memberships. I don't like trying to drive these things, but Martin said he talked about it on one of his videos, so I thought, well, I may as well make people aware of it. A few of you are already members of the channel. You do get early access to videos, or at least my Big Friday videos anyway. And I'll probably try to start, the more members I get, the more I'm going to try to sort out extra perks for you as well. Maybe like, you know, members only posts and things like that. I don't think it'll be members only videos because I just don't have the time to be able to do doubling up on videos and things. But if you do want to help out the channel, please feel free. It's very much appreciated, those who do. 3rd Indian Cavalry. I'm aware where I am. I'm lost. Next camo for my heavy weapon space Mausling's team. Okay. Hashtag weird shit. If you like this, I'm Storm of Steel. If you don't like this, this is the plastic grab pod. Yes, exactly, John. Exactly. Even sat here looking at some Foundry Mycenaeans, wondering why I have committed to another project. You see, that's why you need to be very careful about these things. And you should only play 3 periods like I do. That's all you should do. Or in the main anyway. Oh, Tiny's upset, I think, because of the rain, and she's not really happy about it. She's sitting under here mewing at me. Come here, Tiny. Come and say hello to everyone. Everybody likes Tiny. Marmon Harrington's, that's right. For Malaya. Let's see if she appears on the screen. She's not very happy at the moment. She's wanting a bit of a cuddle. Because I won't let you out, isn't it? Because it's wet. Oh well. She didn't like that. Right, I am now just going to give these a little dry brush. Just get some of this bronze green, lighten it up a little bit. I'm never too sure about green. Whenever you lighten it up with white, it always goes greyish. But for vehicles, that's not too bad. But I'm lightening it here with yellow just to try and get it a little tiny bit lighter. Bronze green. Let's give it a go. See what it looks like. Because I did the white version on the Matildas, and I wasn't that keen on the look. Let's just see how these pick out. You never know, it might look good, it might not, who knows. So let's get these done and done, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick some stowage on them as well. I cut out a bit of stowage earlier on, ready for this. So that'll go on once these are done. Then I'm just going to start doing some of the details on these. I'll finish these easy by the end of the week, I would think. I might cut out the bases for them as well now while I'm at it tonight. Is that my rule of thumb? 3 periods to collecting gaming? It's not really a rule of thumb. It's just that's what I like. I do historical wargaming because I like history, and there's certain parts of history that I like, and the parts of history that I like are the First and the Second World Wars and the Napoleonic Wars. I'm interested in other bits of history, but I'm more interested in the social sides of things rather than the warfare side of things for the rest of history, and with archaeology as well. So from a military point of view, I'm interested in those particular periods. I don't really know why. I think it just goes back to childhood, possibly partly because they are all absolutely massive wars of real change, bringing in your new tactics, new ways of fighting, new generalships and things. And so you know, I do historical wargaming because I'm interested in history, and that's why because I'm interested in those bits of history, that's what I wargame, if you know what I mean. It's circular, basically. It's like poetry, it rhymes. And it's... So, it also just means that I don't also go off down in weird rabbit holes as well. I kind of... You know, if I keep everything in 15mm, then it works from doing... For scenery. It just keeps the cost down for that. Because, obviously, you know... Buildings that were around in 1815, some of them are still around in 1945 and in between, and you know, I can make the different changes and things, and trees and stuff like that is all the same, isn't it? A tree is a tree in 1815 as it is in 1945. So it's just really being tight, John, more than anything else. Does Tiny get many e-meows from her fans? No, she doesn't, but she should. You lot should be shouting out to Tiny whenever she's appearing on screen. No, bless him. She was helping me out with the 1940 review earlier on. When I say helping me out, I mean rolling about whilst I was trying to film. I used to get really annoyed with her. I thought, well, now she can now star in the videos. Everybody likes Tiny. She's a great little cat. What do you say, Tony? Do you have any Vallejo colour preferences for painting German Panther tanks? German Camel Beige. No, I use Middlestone Vallejo for the what I do is Middlestone. There's a couple of videos on the channel for painting German 3-tone camo. It'll just work the same. I did I can't remember. I think it's some Panzer IVs and some, what was the other ones? The Hetzers or Panzer 38Ts. So basically, it's a very simple method of doing literal economies of scale. Indeed, it's Middlestone by Vallejo. We're using can't remember which brown it is I use because I've not painted them for such a long time. I think chocolate brown for the Rotbrunn that they use, and then reflective green for the Middlestone for Dunkelgelb, chocolate brown for Rotbrunn, and then Refractero or green, refractive green for the green, whatever it's called. I can't remember. You like Tiny and hate cats. Everyone loves Tiny. So that's what I use, Tony. Dead simple recipe. I don't spray it on. I'll usually do good colour for buff coats, Middlestone. Yeah, that's the thing. Once I've done it, once I've painted the splotches on the top, I will then actually dry brush them in buff as well, Vallejo buff over the top. Because that's just, it looks like where the paint has worn off on the edges and things, because you know they sprayed the stuff on in the field, so it's not always great, and they thinned it down with petrol and not petrol, I think diesel, I think it was, to make it go a little further when they were spraying it on in the field, so it does wear off. It's not as neat as we all like to think. So that's basically my recipe, but if you have a look on the channel, there's some painting Hetzers videos, and at least painting some Panzer IVs, I think. I'm sure it's some Panzer, I can't remember. Evening, Martin, good to have you on board. Just drop in and say hi. Not sure you can on stage, you need to work. It's too late to be working, Martin. This is why you're the big boss man. You get somebody else to work for you. You hand it over. But no, I'm sure because you're busy all day being chased around by volunteers and bacon butties, I'm sure you've got to do some work at some point. Right, so let's get these Marmon Heritons stowaged up, shall we? That's the thing to do. Right, I did put some super glue down on that. I can never see it again, that's the problem. Once I put it down, it dries up too quick. You can go on the side right there. There we go, one bit. Then I'm going to give these a little paint, I think. Got to try and find space for them though, actually. That's the other thing. You've already finished painting 2 TT Combat Village Cafes, now working on a city terrace from TT Combat. Good stuff. Good stuff. Some of that TT Combat stuff is quite nice. I think it needs a bit of work, as do all MDF kits, to be honest. But they can look pretty good once you mess about with them and you do something. You certainly. I use stuff like polyfiller and things to fill in the edges, just to try to make them look like an actual building rather than an MDF building. So that's the hard part. Don't even know what this is, but it's like a little... Sorry, I'm just concentrating. This is like, remember, this is like the rigging episode, if you remember that. Excellent. So we got 25 people watching. I can only see 16 likes on this channel, so hit that. Do hit that like button, please. Wasn't it only last week you were asking about opinions on the TT Combat stuff? That's damn quick going. Yes, he's flying through them, isn't he? You're right, John. Well remembered. Let's see, where else would you put stowage on one of these little things? Little weird. You've got to edit reports. Thrilling stuff here, though. I do another set of Zulus nearby. You just primed. Good stuff. Yeah, editing reports is never fun. Yeah, county mounty breathing down your neck. Understand that. I try to avoid this as much as possible. It's always a hard choice with stowage, just wondering where to put it. But it always looks great. Indeed, I was desperate for some cheap and good quality World War II buildings. I'd also check out, Tony, oh crap, what are they called? Stu over at Miniature Realms just did a review of them. I can't remember. Somebody tell me. Evening, James, good to have you on board. Even though you're still banned from playing Algae. I'm going World War II crazy, been in the American Civil War for so long. Good! That's it, getting to another period. Go down that rabbit hole. Is it Empires at War? I think it's the Empires at War stuff. They're really nice buildings. Again, quite basic, but you can do quite a lot with them. At least I found. The Marmon Harringtons are lovely. They are. They've turned out quite nice. Lovely prints. That's, for which I cannot claim any credit for whatsoever. Well, I think it probably is about time I bought myself a 3D printer. Oh, there we go. So you're fully recovered, James, from Lard Workshop and getting your arse handed to you. Empires of War. There you go, James. Cheers. The second most attractive game at Lard Workshop. You can stop digging. You've blown it. You've blown it. You're banned. whatever you say. Red card for you. Really good Pantal Roof stuff. Yes, they do. I was going to say the same. Yes, there you go, Dex. We all know it now. I got there in the end as well. But yes, it's they do some nice stuff. I got one of their buildings. Use it for sharp practice, but you can use it quite easily. I use it quite easily in Second World War settings as well. In their, I think it's their Normandy range. Alright, how much of this stowage do I want to put on these things? That's the big question. Let's put a little bit more on. It's always nice to put a bit more on. More is less, isn't it? That's what they say. Yeah, printing Jeeps and 222s. Good stuff. Reconnaissance vehicles all the way. Let me just put this together. See, some more have popped in. Was Richard Clark glad you finally interviewed him at a convention? Yes, I think he was. He was pleased. Did you enjoy the video? Evening Thomas, you recently finished some K221s and 222s, working on 2316 rads, 232s rads, early World War II stuff, excellent. Smashing Do was LW, but stopped in that pub log and had planned. Oh well. That's life. That's life. It was good stuff. Yeah, I was just so banjaxed by the end of it, there was no way I was staying for the curry. Not with having an hour drive ahead of me as well afterwards. Okay, right, that's some stowage on those bad boys. Right, what I'll do is I'm going to give them, let that super glue dry, because I don't want to glue my paintbrushes up too much. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paint the wheels on these while I wait for the glue to dry. We'll see how we get on. I might get them finished tonight. No, I don't think I'll get them finished tonight, but I might get them quite finished. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Actually, I'm going to make the bases for them. This will send chat into a into a tailspin, won't it? Right. So what we are 2.5 centimeters by 5.5. 2.5 by 5.5. Remember that? You were knackered after the quick pub trip. I'm glad you didn't stay for curry. Yeah. If I was staying over, it'd be a different matter, because you can go to your hotel room and get freshened up and stuff, can't you? That's the thing. But if you've got to drive home as well, it can be quite a grind. And thinking as well all day, playing the game and teaching people how to play a game. It can be hard work. Right, 5.5. We say 2.5. Oh, nobody's reminded me. Right, so this is 7.5, so I'm going to go with a 2.5 here. Yeah, wrong one. 2.5, 5, 7.5. Oh, we said 5.5, didn't we? Oh, it's just big enough there. What are we saying? Finished painting up American squad 20mm Valiant miniatures. Working in his second squad this week. Good stuff. Evening, Tim. Good to have you on board. Was listening as I drove home from work. Home now, coffee in hand. Basing Prussians in a minute. Excellent. Get them Prussians based. I'm basing Marmon Harringtons. And I don't care who knows it. Let's just get these sorted out. 2, 5. I don't think I've seen any of the Valiant stuff. I've heard of them. I mean, it's a pretty typical name, isn't it, for a wargaming manufacturer, you would have thought anyway. I certainly don't think I've seen any. Is it raining for everybody else at the moment? Or is it just here up in South Yorkshire? Because he's not stopped since I've sat down, which is good. The garden needs it. I think I can't remember if we've got a hosepipe ban on at the moment or if it's later. Later in the month. What are we all talking about? Valiant figures being rescaled. That's what it's all about. So this is how I make my vehicle bases, for those who want to know. 3mm plastic card. Raining in Bristol. Won't be British if we didn't talk about the weather. Hopefully these are the right size. Nice storm. Somerset's a bit damp. First time with the product, new at the rescale. Technically they are closer to 25 than 20. They paint up well though, and that's what counts. That's what it's all about. Saddleworth, you had about 20 minutes of rain. Okay. Oh dear. Yeah, it's been going for a while up here. I'll say it's good. I bloody need it. Cat sounds happy though. Tiny wants to go out. And raining over there in Derby. Messing about with odd bits. Basing a couple, finish off and again with a couple of white scout cars from Zvezda. Good stuff. The Zvezda kits are really nice, aren't they? I've got quite a lot of their 1/100 stuff. I think they're lovely. They do quite and a good price as well. Normally, just a bit in Outerbridge. Well, it'll come and get you. You'll be on its way up. Don't spill all your how do I base my vehicle? Think of the views how I base my vehicles would get, yeah, and how many downvotes it would get. Right. Just painting some 10mm Germans heading down the O group rabbit hole. Good. The more who go down the O group rabbit hole, the better. Right. Just get them out of the way. Oops. What time are we on? Half 8 o'clock. All good. And then I like to round the bases off, so I just clip them like this. Just booking it down for you, is it, James? Yeah, your group. That's my catchphrase. They're nice kits of Zvezda, and yeah, price hard to beat, especially for getting the odd one or two. Yeah, exactly. You don't have to get a full 5, do you? I normally do, but you don't have to. Also, another thing I was thinking today, I've got 2.5 shelves worth of Osprey books that I've had for years. There needs to be a support group. My name is John, and I play O group. I'm trying to make our club into an O group support group. I've got all these Osprey books, and I've had them for years. And I was thinking just the other day that I don't think I've looked in any one of them, or maybe I looked in the German one the other day for the first time in literally years, and it's the first one that I looked in for literally years. So I think I might flog them, because if nothing else, all the information that's contained in those Ospreys, and as nice as they are, is on the internet, isn't it? I was looking at US Marine Corps uniforms, because I don't have the Osprey on it, and not only did I find, like, you know, actual examples of period kit, you know, from reenactors and stuff, photos of it, but I also found the plates from one of the Ospreys on the Marines online. Somebody just put it on Pinterest or something. So I was just thinking I might just flog them, because there's so many of them and they're taking up so much space, and I never look at them. And I've been thinking about it with all my other books as well. I'm looking across there. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 15 shelves full of books. And I've either read them. There's a load that I've read. A load of the First World War books I read for my MA, which I'll probably never read again. I've got a load of stuff that I bought, but I know I'm never going to read it. But I have tried to do it before in the past. I sold about 120 books a couple of years ago, and I just, you know, it didn't even feel like I touched the surface, the sides with the amount of bloody books I've got, and I'm just not reading them. I've just been thinking, it's like I feel like I'm at a point where I'm thinking of just getting rid of a load of stuff, because I was talking the other day, was it last week, or in my hobby update, when I was talking about doing the I'm working on Germans and Russians for O group, and then once they're worked on, I'm going to get rid of all the other 15mm Peter Pig stuff that I've had for 30 years. Because again, half of it doesn't even see the table, and it's, you know, 30 years old, and it's, you know, painted 30 years ago, so it just doesn't look like anything else that I've painted recently. So I'm just and I just think, you know, what's the point in having all these figures that are just sitting there doing nothing? Somebody else may as well have them and either play with them or let them have them sit there doing nothing as well. So I've kind of been considering it with my books as well. I don't know what's come over me. Half of me feels like I should just sell everything up and become a hermit and travel the world like Kung Fu. I won't do that, but I just kind of it just seems a bit weird. What are we saying? Internet knows everything. Exactly, Carl. Exactly, it does. You don't bother with ospreys and leaves the plates, and they're normally the first thing to come up in image search. Exactly. I agree with that 100%. That's what I mean. It's like, you know, people post that stuff all over Pinterest. Sell them and buy more toys. Yeah, that's the thing. I was thinking of selling more toys as well, though, Steve. And Carl says, just remember when there was no internet, you just went into life not knowing something was yeah, exactly. You just bought the book, didn't you? Nowadays, whole books are on the internet, aren't they? You can just Google Scholar and things. You remember that I used to go to library searches to get those obscure books. Yeah, I mean, you know, the world is just so different nowadays. You don't really need this many. And I love books. Don't get me wrong. I absolutely love. I adore. But if I had the room and the space, I would have a library. And as a wiser man than me once said, until government mandated black house. Yeah, get your tinfoil hats on. I had, you know, I'd have a library, but a friend of mine, Alistair, once said, "There's no point having a library if you've read all the books," and it's a fair point. But the thing is, I just know I'm never going to read all the books. There's some stuff in there that I've just bought that I'm never going to buy it. Travel the world, War Games Club to War Game Club, spread the group word for fighting evil. I'm with you now, Alex. I've got stuff I no longer play, which is just gathering dust. Just sell it and buy the stuff you do play with. Yeah, exactly. That's it. And that's the thing, isn't it? You get to a point. I mean, and I am a hoarder. You know, naturally I'm a hoarder. I've got a huge vinyl collection and a huge CD collection, a huge book collection and a huge toy collection. But you know, what am I doing with it? I'm just kind of reassessing things at this point. Maybe it's because I'm getting older. You know, Mrs. reads loads but never keeps the books afterwards. I generally don't with novels. I'll read a novel and then give it away, but I always think these ones, they're research, you know, they're reference books. But again, you know, am I really ever going to go back to, you know, James Lucas's Eastern Front? Less stuff is good. Yeah, my wife would say exactly the same. You had a huge clear out in a year. He got rid of stuff I had no plans for. Of figures or of other stuff as well, James? Is it or a bit of both? I mean, was it just material possessions? So that's all it is when it comes down to it, isn't it? And if, you know, as she says, Maria Konda, if it doesn't spark joy, then there you go. Then you shouldn't. Then you shouldn't have it. And yeah, it's good. I think it's because right now in my bedroom, on the bedside table, there's another shelf's worth of books that I've put there that I'm aiming on reading because they're the ones that I've got in. And then, like I say, up here I've got about another 15 shelves of books, and then we've also got a shitload of books downstairs. Oh, that's me demonetized. Both. Though I never get rid of books. Well, normally I don't. That's the thing, CJ. Normally I don't. I don't like getting rid of books, apart from novels once I've read them. But reference books, I try to hang on to because I always think, oh, I'll go back to that at some point. Oh yeah, sorry, it is Claire Berg. Oh, I'm alive. Evening, Claire. It's like the Plastic Crag podcast yesterday. Oh no, she's been listening. She's listening to me in Serbia. I can't get away. You keep a lot of historical accounts and references that I used to help me design historically accurate wargame rules. Yeah, again, exactly. A lot of that stuff, though. Would you not find it? Would you be able to just PDF it and put it on a Kindle or something? I can't believe I didn't realise that was you, Claire. It's because chat's moving too fast, and I'm thinking. You always have a clear out at least once a year of models, so I do like to pick up a good bargain. Yeah, so yeah, I'm just gonna, you know, scenery and stuff I'll keep. Well, I've even got rid of some of that because I gave Dex some of that stuff the other week, and he was happy with that. So it's just less stuff for me. So I'm just trying to get my scenery game up a little bit better. So I'm just getting rid of a lot of the old stuff. So yeah, it's I've just been thinking about it, that's all. Maybe it's because I'm nearly 50 and something changing. It's a big change. Books far too many. Mildly haunted every so often by the prospect that I've perhaps bought more books than I can ever read in a natural life, and somewhere on the shelf is the last I'll ever read. Indeed. On the other hand, there was a superb deal on second-hand Ospreys at the shots. Oh yeah, I know who you mean. It was that that company. I bought a couple from them in the past. But again, I've read them, so why have them? You just painted your first yellow uniform and a figure, 28mm. Nice one. Citadel paint for the win. Excellent. Maybe you ought to decant the paint into another pot. There, Andy, and then post the results on Twitter and see what happens. You two can have a load of abuse. Millennium Com in Texas, USA, and any lard engagements. Yeah, I know that the Lard America do have stuff at shows, but I'm not sure which ones. Speaking of lard, I've struck up a deal as well with Richard. I was talking to him about it on Saturday about buying his rules in wholesale prices to sell on. So watch this space, kids, is all I can say. I'm just wondering about what to do. That was the other thing I was thinking about as well. If I was going to sell these Ospreys on all these figures, I don't know if it's worthwhile setting up a Shopify shop, because I think you can get a free month's Shopify if you sign up, and then just selling them through that, because then you won't have the eBay fees and things. It's just something to think about. But the problem is, I mean, eBay, obviously, that's it's where everybody goes, isn't it? That's the thing. But I'm sure I could quite easily set up a Shopify thing. Where are we going? More books. Where are we at? More books than you can ever read, and a lead pile bigger than you can ever paint. The true way of the Wargaming. Well, my lead pile's quite small actually, and I'm probably not going to be buying a lot more stuff until it's well down. Are you worried that you may become most popular tweet ever, or is it all good publicity? All publicity is good publicity. What's the most funny thing about that, Andy, is the people that actually think it's real. Again, I'm not going to spoil it. Go and find Storm of Steel Wargaming on Twitter and you'll see what we're talking about. What he's saying, I always buy too much when starting a new project, so always have stuff to move on once the project is finished. Yeah, is that right? People troll you for decanting paint. No, alright, I'll tell you. The joke is that a lot of people decant the Citadel paints into dropper bottles like Vallejo, but I saw on Discord this morning somebody had posted a joke of doing it the other way around, and then even sticking the name, the sticker of the Vallejo bottle onto the Citadel paint. So obviously, so I posted it. It's currently running on to about 800 likes, I think, at this point, thereabouts. Quick buy your copies of our group before Alex clears the lorries out. No chance of that. Where would you sell two fat lorries rolls? Well, this is the question, you see. I'm thinking, do I do it on eBay? Because I do, I've got a seller's account on eBay. Or do I actually set up a Storm of Steel shop? And then I could sell other things as well, like dice trays and Storm of Steel dice, or Osprey books, or second-hand figures. I'm just wondering about it. The thing is, with Shopify, you have to pay fees, and I can't remember how much it is because it's been a long time since I've used it. But you know, I don't mind that because it's like paying rent on a shop basically, and it means you're not building a website from the ground up, and it's quite a nice, easy interface, and everything's already there. but they also take some money as well from every sale, and I can't remember how competitive compared to eBay it is, the percentage that they take. I'll have to have a little look into it. So I might, you're debating taking your chain of command to Millennium Com, do so, do it. Your lead pile is small and my plastic pile is huge. That explains it, it's beginning to down your sanity. SOS brand of paint droppers. Nice one, James. But yeah, I mean, I had relative success with Shopify shop in the past. It was I was selling Viking jewellery and Viking t-shirts and things, and I've got a load of wargaming designs as well, which again I could sell through a shop if everything's in one place. The only thing is I don't know how domains work, because the domain for Storm and Steel Wargaming, I own it, stormandsteelwargaming.com, but it directs to my Blogger account, so it goes to my blog. So I don't know if I'd be able to transfer that to a Shopify account, or to to a website of its own right, which then directs to a Shopify shop. So I don't know. I'd have to have a look into that as well. I don't know if things have changed quite a bit. I just thought, well, I'm going to experiment with the wholesale lardy rules, because I don't know how they'll sell at this point. Shopify is 2% plus 25p on top of a £19 a month. There you go. Square is 19 feet and any £9. Square? I've not heard of Square. Is that like a Shopify thing, but a smaller one, I assume? You're planning on making a Shopify shop for some of your products and wargame rules. Basic plan is $30 a month. There you go. Shopify plan is around $80 a month. Professional plan's $300 a month. Yeah. So no Decan special video on the horizon. Vaguely disappointed now. Perhaps you could do a paint drying episode instead. I might do for April the 1st. Squarespace, that's it. Yes, that is the one you're talking about, James. You can use your own domain. Let me know and I'll shout you out. Okay, cheers, James. I will do. Let me have a little think more about it then. Simon says, you're just recovering from the true shock of watching your vehicle being based whilst hearing about old figures and books being sold. Get used to it on this stream, Simon. It's like being shot down by the German air racers of the First World War. That kind of shock that never leaves you behind. Yeah, dug a 35-year-old 25mm Indian Army out of the back of the garage and started using it again. Whilst there, I found my old-fashioned air-fixed Napoleonic rules, which I'll never use. Still won't part with. Yeah, some stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. I've got, Don Featherstone's books, and I've got Charles Grant's books and stuff. And I wouldn't part with those, but I've got a lot of other books that I picked up on Life's Highway that I'm just never going to read, or I'm never going to bother with. And some things, but there's some things are sentimental and nice, and I bought them specifically for sentimental reasons, because I used to read them when I was a nipper in the library, and I couldn't afford them, so that's why I've got them. I can say that again. You have nightmares. I was thinking about it afterwards. I didn't suggest it at the time, but what you should have done is just dive down to level 6 where I was. We'd have at least had 6 aircraft against theirs. But you stayed up there. You kept going higher. I know you get the altitude bonus, but sometimes it's strength in numbers, Simon. But next time. Anyway, I don't know if you know, but in the second game, the RFC got their arses handed to them as well. James, who's in here, having a backy, he played it. He was the RFC and he was the FE2Bs, and they got an absolute lamping, unfortunately for them. But I think he enjoyed it, because he stuck around to the end at least. Unlike Mick, who disappeared off as soon as he could. Alright, we've got 27 viewers, 19 likes. Hit that like button, folks. And also, I said it earlier, but you weren't all here. Check out the memberships of the channel. You get free access, ad-free access, early access to the to videos, to Friday videos. I'm in the process of sorting out some of the other tiers as well for that. So do check them out. It all helps the channel. It all goes back into making more videos for you and your friends. There you go. Heartbreaking. It was watching them all tumble. But at least you got the Baron. You took Richtofen out. So, or you or Mick did anyway. The RFC. It was a team effort. At least, but yeah, at least he went. So, you know, every cloud and all that. Every cloud has an albatross lining. That's what it's all about. What time are we on anyway? Yeah, it's only 20 past. 20 past the old hour. Right. These are coming along nicely. Like I say, I don't think I'm going to get them finished tonight. I'm going to paint this once I've done these wheels. I'm going to do the stowage on them, and then if it's dry, I might give them an ink wash on the stowage. Start work on the old the bases. Like I say, unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, it's nice to be up there, but I'm heading up to Otterburn tomorrow, so I won't be back till Friday night. So I know these won't get finished Friday. Smashing game. Excellent illustration of life expectancy if nothing else. Indeed. Yes. It really was bloody April for you lot. Right. I hate painting tyres. I don't know about anybody else. I absolutely hate it. Always the worst part of painting any vehicle is the tyres. I don't know why. I've always hated it. What's your worst part of a vehicle to paint? If there is a part that you hate. Yeah. Right. Let's have a look. What's next? Said I was going to do the stowage next, didn't I? That was the next thing. Right, we'll crack on with that. As I'll try to get these bits done at least. Green brown, didn't even know I had that. Right, do a couple of these in khaki. It's a man's life in the 20 minutes. There you go. I got Carl Burks mixed up with my wife earlier on. That's why I didn't realise it was Claire that was talking to me. Because she's Claire Berg. So that's my excuse. It's not that I didn't recognise my wife before anybody starts. Spoke wheels are always a pain. Yeah, road wheels on tanks just seem to be endless. Yeah, I just cover them in weathering. Don't even bother. Like on Tigers and on Panthers and stuff, just paint them the flat colours and then just give them a good brushing with dust. You're done. Forget about it. Do I know where I could get laser engraved in dice and MDF tokens? Laser engraved dice, there's a company and I can't remember the name of them where I got my dice for the 8,000 giveaway. I'll have to find it out for you, Tony, but there's a company that does engraved dice, but they are in the UK. But there will be somewhere I would have thought in the US. As for tokens, I would talk to Warbases. They're very amenable to doing custom stuff, and they do MDF and laser engraving and stuff. Just have a chat to them. They would they'll point you in the right direction. I would have thought. They've done a few things for me sometimes. Not tokens, but you know, bases and stuff, specific bases that I wanted. Clean you up. And what we all on about? That's a terrifying thought. Yeah, it is, Carl. Yeah, hater painting World War II German camo. That's why I'm doing Brits. Oh, I love it. I love the German camo. I think it's ace. Litco, yeah, they might do something. They might do custom stuff. Tyres are the worst. Batch painted half a dozen Russian BTRs. Oh, God, horrible. They always struggle with the mounted tools. They always look sloppy to me. Me too. So what I do is I paint them in block colours and then just ink wash them with Agrax, and then the Agrax settles around them, gives them a bit of shade, and it kind of takes away the sloppiness. But I know what you mean. Next up, 25 Reaper Human medieval figures. And I can have them go up against the 22 figures of Ralph Arthur's. Nice. EM4 miniatures. I can't remember if that's who it was I got them printed from. Just found Litco. Just wondering if there was anybody else. Litco probably looked very well. Yeah, Litco's good stuff. I've got some of their stuff for Arkham Horror. They do some really nice tokens, and they are also based in the US as well, so it's probably a bit easier for you. There'll be other people that do dice engraving. I'm fairly sure when I was looking for them the other day that I found them. I found some in America before I went to the one that I went to in the UK. Yeah, there'll be loads of people out there happy to take your money and make your tokens, I would have thought. Yeah. That's those bits done. Now look, see if I can find. I'll find it for you. You got me thinking about it now. Yeah, okay, the eccentric man. There you go. Counter-attack bases. That's where I got mine printed at. My dice, anyway. But that's obviously there in the UK. What's he say? Sard said, you purchase all your bases from Litco. Very satisfied with their product and service. Yeah, I get them through gaming enhancements in here in the UK. Ellen, up in Scotland, she sells them and has a big range of them as well. And she's a very good seller. So if you are here in the UK and you're looking for Litco stuff, go and check them out. English uniform, that's always a good one for British stowage, isn't it? Marron beige, no, I don't want brown beige, I want English uniform. Where are you? You're in here somewhere, I know you are. But where, I just don't know. Green, brown, no, that's not you. There we are, English uniform. Perfect. Perfectus. I'm nearly getting there with these. That rain isn't abating yet. Still going. Litco's got excellent generic markers for all kinds of games management stuff. Yes, it does. I say I use a lot of their stuff in my Arkham Horror games, like their damage tokens and horror tokens. Very nice. I think they do some Wings of Glory stuff as well, like burning markers and things. That was it. That was the other thing I was thinking. Wings of Glory. I've got about, I think I counted them up, about 119 aircraft from Wings of Glory. It's almost the entire range, or at least it's probably currently about somewhere about 90% of the range, because I didn't get any of the new ones. And the last time I played it, we played it at the club the other Christmas, and it was a club game, and that was the first time I played it in, again, it must be about 3 or 4 years. Apart from playing it a couple of times solo on the channel, just doing it as a solo demonstration. And I think since I found algae and got into algae, and I've got all those 1/300th aircraft, which are, you know, way more than I've got of the Wings of Glory stuff. And I was thinking about selling them as well, because they're going for good money. Litcoin is then. Needed to know how I can use and sell some custom tokens for upcoming set of rules that we're publishing next year. There you go. Yeah. Anyone else getting a live chat server area 503? No, not me. Don't know if anybody else is. So obviously that comment you made about the government shutting down your internet earlier. As far as I'm aware of, I've got good connection over here. Right. I'm going to do these. I'm going to paint the tools as well, and then I can agrax everything all at once. And then apart from a little bits and pieces of detailing, that's these done almost. Apart from the base and all the other stuff, and the weathering. What are we saying? So it's the Phalanx Consortium. They do tokens for various games. Not heard of them, John. Such knowledgeable people tune in and watch this, don't they? Such knowledgeable, all-rounded wargaming experts are watching the channel tonight. Can't beat it, can you? Can't beat that. Beige brown, here we go. Let's do the toolage. I think there's only a shovel on these. Sometimes I don't bother because sometimes tools are painted the same colour of the vehicle. Depends how lazy the crew are. So sometimes I don't always bother with painting the tools on these things. But I'm going to on these because it makes it stand out a little bit, and they're quite nice and obvious. There we go, there's one. Right, see you later, Tony. Thank you very much. Thanks for having. Thanks for joining. Hope you enjoyed it. What you saying? You make Blood and Valor minis? I'm not sure you'll be convinced. Yes. I don't really know much about their minis. I was looking at them earlier on. Or should I say figures? I'm a gent of a certain age. I was looking at them earlier on. Some were okay. The Americans are okay. Interesting poses and stuff. But too big for my delicate tastes. Right, that's those bits done. There's no other tools. No, I don't think so. You just sort off all my X-Wing stuff as I played it since 2nd edition came out. Plus, if I do fancy the game, I've got to make it as a massive collection. Yeah, and the other thing with Wings of Glory is they've released the digital version of it. So again, if I'm really desperate for a game of it, you can just play it digitally. I know it's slightly different, and it's not a fantastic game, but it's a cheap game, and you know that cost me 12 quid, whereas I've probably got several £1,000s worth of aircraft sitting behind me that just aren't being used. But again, I kind of feel like I've collected them. I put a lot of effort into finding them all. Well, I didn't. I just bought them in bulk when they came out. But again, I haven't even kept up with that as a collection either. So again, it shows you, where my interests are lying. And we always change, don't we? Can't take it with you. Right, there we go. That's those tools done. Right, I'll just let them dry. What I'll do is I'll start work on the bases. What time are we on? 25 to 9. I've got to actually do some packing tonight for the next few days. It's not a huge amount to do, but I still need to put something together. I'll just paint some of these. I'm also giving a talk as well, so I need to dismantle this computer as well for tomorrow morning. Claire's texting me now. Oh no, don't say I've run out of Flat Earth. My favourite paint, just because of the name. Have I got any more? Oh, looks like I might have to buy myself some. Oh no, nightmare. How am I going to do the bases? Is that? Ah, there we've got some here, I think. There we go. There we go. We've been discovered by the Empire. Indeed. Right. Let's give these a quick old paint up. Then I think I might leave it to that tonight. No, I'm going to aggregate these first of all before I finish, and then I won't need to do a huge amount on them when I get back. But they won't dry in time tonight to before the end of this stream, I'm afraid. But we'll just do some of this bits. Just get through these now. At least I managed to get these done. Nothing else, it'll puzzle future archaeologists. Indeed. That is true. A ritual deposit of loads of wargaming figures. It is actually going to be quite interesting in a couple of thousand years when people do start excavating our remains, and we've got stuff like false teeth and things like that, and all kinds of medical accessories, I guess you call them. It'll be interesting. So you do get it on occasion from post-medieval stuff, you know, like people's false teeth and things like that. But it'll be even more so nowadays. Or more people with false teeth now than there probably was in the past, because they're affordable. I just had that paint in my hand. What was wrong with me? Where I've gone. 1970s version of the digital watch people. Yeah, exactly. Well, to be fair, they'll probably have to dig through all the plastic anyway to get down before they get down to us. There'll be a layer of plastic, the plastic age, and they'll dig through that, and then they'll find all us. Why do I base my vehicles? You prefer not based? Because they look less like toys on the tabletop, for one thing. I don't like unbased vehicles. It's the same reason I base figures. It also protects them in storage as well, because the base is slightly bigger than the vehicle. It also raises them to the same size as the figures, because they're already on bases as well. And everybody bases everything else. Why do people base cavalry? Why do people base infantry? I think they just look better. Pure and simple. Your mileage may vary, but that's why I like them. And I've always done it. And you can make nice little vignettes as well out of the base. And then someone will say, yeah, but when they're driving up the road, it looks like they're just on grass. So do figures. So does cavalry. Same argument, but nobody cares about that. No, it's not because I'm a heretic. It's because I like based vehicles. So yes, there's a number of reasons for you. The controversy, oh yes. the Twitter spats that kick up every so often. Right, now I'm going to ink wash these with the Agrax. This is the last of the old Agrax that I've got before I have to start using the new Agrax. This was the last one that I was able to get hold of. But here we are. The plasticine era, pretty much. We can do this fine by an excellent Tupperware bowl. Yeah, indeed. Indeed. Let me just get these all Agraxed up. And then once these are dry, it's just going to be a case of just painting in the highlights on them, nice and easy. And they're done. Just got to try. Always got to try and remember what I've actually used. You're too lazy. I also don't flock the bases at night of minis, just dirt and sand and snow. Yeah, I like to flock them because it fits in well with my table. I know a lot of people do that like in between look of sand and stuff, and that would just stand out on my table. So why do it is my question. I know it's quite a nice generic look, but my table isn't generic, it's grass green. Here we go. Something in my eye. Right, nearly done. Yeah, done for the night. I do love it when it rains. It's been such a long time since I've actually heard it rattling against the windows. It's nice. Is there an Agrax shortage? No, they've just changed the formula. It's slightly different. I'm not sure why, but there was a bit of controversy about it a few weeks ago. Give it a few months and everybody will have forgotten about it. But they've changed the formula, so it's like slightly. It's not as dark. It's more of a like a panel liner than a wash, I guess. Seems to have got a lot more flow improver in it. So the older stuff everybody was used to, and now it's all changed. So it's not a shortage. But there is obviously a shortage of the old stuff because everybody went out and bought it in tons. Right, there we go. So Marmon Harrington's almost complete. And I think I am going to leave it at that for tonight. Again, that's quarter to 11, quarter to 9, quarter to 11, quarter to 9. I'm going to leave it at that. I'll finish those off on Friday. Mind you, it depends what time I wake up tomorrow morning. If I wake up early enough, I might do it tomorrow, but I don't think I will. You've got half a bottle left. Well, hang on to it, Richard. Okay, and I'm going to say good night. Thank you, everybody, for watching. It's been a pleasure. Hit that like button if you haven't already. Most of you have, by the looks of things. So thank you for that. Also, as I say, check out channel memberships if you want to help support the channel. And I will see you probably next week for the next paint and chat, I would have thought.